Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Tonight I'm going to be strategic with you. So if you have tight hip flexors, your psoas here on the front of the hip, your psoas is really one of the deepest muscles in your body because it goes through the pelvic floor and it's going to insert and go into your lumbar spine vertebra. So what happens is if you get super tight on the front of the hip, it can tilt your pelvis into an anterior pelvic tilt and then create your low back to have an extra arch, extra deep arch. We as humans have a lordotic curve in our low back, and it can really pronounce it and then pop your rib cage forward and then get you all out of alignment. So let's focus on getting our hip flexors to release tonight. And what I want to do is turn on your glutes, your hip extensors, strengthen those. And then we're going to stretch your hip flexor as well as your hamstring, work your glutes. So we'll do a couple different things to get in there so that we can effectively then stretch your psoas and stretch your quads. So then you'll feel better, like you're not so tight, because it can pull you forward, or it also can make it really difficult to sit up straight like that. You might feel like you're getting pulled this way because the hamstrings can also get tight. So we're going to focus on a few of those things to help release. So we'll do about 3 or 4 exercises that will help with that. So if that feels like something you want to work on, tight hip flexors, stretching your hamstrings, working your glutes, then you found the right video. All right, let's get started. My name's Tracy. My channel's Downward Dog Rising. So let's begin. Starting off, I want you to come onto all fours, and I just want you to stretch your spine. So you're going to press your palms firmly into the mat, drop your chin, let your pelvis drop forward as that tailbone lengthens down, and then inhale, stretch your ribs apart, look up, feel both ends of the spine lengthen, exhale, scoop your abdominals in, press your shoulder blades far and wide, inhale, lengthen, exhale. So tailbone drops around your low back. 2 more. And then you're going to exhale 1 more time, breathing in. And now exhale. Wonderful. Find neutral. Basically, you're going to let the front of your ribs match and meet the back of your ribs. Front ribs, lift. Back ribs, feel the connection, pull straight to the center. Now as you're pressing your palms into the mat, elevate your heart a little bit, pull the energy up out of your wrist so it transfers the load across your middle back. Now bend your right leg and then make sure your 2 hip bones are even and level, straight across. Tighten core into your spine. Now elevate, press your foot into the ceiling, and then you're going to squeeze your glutes, your hip extensors. You're going to lift and squeeze, come back in, lift and squeeze. Scoop your core, lift and squeeze. Just stay stable. 5, press. 4, 3, 2 more. And last one. Okay, now what I want you to do is inhale, point your toes. Exhale, flex your foot. Squeeze the back of your upper thigh. Point your toes. Now flex your foot. Squeeze the back of your thigh. Keep drawing core muscles up towards your spine. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze the back of your thigh. Point and flex, and point and flex, and flex. 2, last one. Excellent. Bring that foot down, that knee down. Same thing now, other leg. Want you to keep spine neutral, lift your heart. Now, fold this leg in, left leg lifts, your hips are squared. Push the bottom of your foot to the sky. Squeeze your glute, tighten the core. Squeeze your glute, hips stabilized. 8. Core is strong. 4, squeeze your glute. 3, 2, last one. Now extend. You're going to point your toes. Keep the hips stabilized. Now flex your heel. So you're going to point the toes. Now flex the heel. Toes point, heel flexes. Now I want you to engage those hamstrings, back of thigh. Keep hips level. Squeeze the back of the thigh, those hamstrings. And 6, 5, squeeze back of thigh. 4, 3, 2, last one. All right, now plant your foot down. Great. What I want you to work on next, I want you to feel like you can curl the toes under. Now sit straight back for a second like this. And then I want you to just press into the balls of each foot and just let the fascia on the bottoms of your feet stretch a little bit. Just stay here, relax hands on thighs. If it hurts your knees, you could stick a yoga block between your heel and your pelvis and sit on the yoga block. So then you're up here and then it puts less stress and tension on those knees. Or you could put a blanket under them, whatever works best for you. Just breathe for a second. All right, so place palms on mat. Take your left foot, tighten core first. Walk your foot between the two hands like that. Now, you're gonna press forward and then you're gonna float your arms up into a low lunge, front knee above the ankle. So I want you to be in that low lunge. And then you're gonna shift hips and pelvis back. Pull this left hip back. Pull your heart forward and do a half split. Ardha Hanuman. Breathe, stretch tailbone away. Keep elevating your heart. Come forward, shift the weight. Inhale, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Feel the front of the right hip. Feel the left glute. And then you're gonna drop down, shift your weight straight back. Your heart just comes straight over the front of this thigh. And 3 more times. I want you to come forward, shift the weight forward. Abdominals draw in. Now shift the weight back. Pull this left hip back, really lengthen your spine. 2 more times. You're gonna shift the weight forward. And then shift the weight back. Really hip hinge, keep back elongated. 1 more time. Inhale, rise up. And then exhale, shift back. Excellent. Pull that hip back, really lift your breastbone. And then hinge straight over that leg. Go a little deeper if you can. So you're just gonna exhale, bring your breastbone over the front of your thigh, keep the hips aligned. In your Ardha Hanumasana, your half split. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. 2 more times. And 1 more time, getting into those hamstrings. Wonderful. Now you're gonna walk this foot behind you, that left leg that was just in front. I want you to keep it reaching behind you. And then I want you to scoop your abdominals deeply into your back, drop your shoulders away from your ears, and let's do a Pilates push-up, and it will also help you for your Chaturanga Dandasanas. So your shoulders are down, come forward and push up. Notice how I avoid just bending at my waist, and I bring my whole entire plank down to the floor with me. And then your shoulder blades pull down sides and back, and you press up. And 6, and 5, 4 more, 3 more, keep scooping navel to spine, 2, and last one. Take it all the way up, bring that leg in, and we're gonna switch sides. So I'm gonna have you here on all fours, lift abdominals to your back, walk your right foot between the 2 hands. Now you're gonna lean forward, elevate to top of head, press those hips forward in your low lunge, Anjaneyasana, and now take it back. Pull this right hip back, elevate heart, inhale, exhale, keep those hips aligned, and then we're gonna shift forward, take a deep inhale here, feel the front of this left quad, feel this glute in here, and once again, you're gonna shift the pelvis back. You're pulling this right hip back, keeping that left hip facing forward, hinge from the hips. We're gonna come forward and back 3 more times. You're gonna take it forward, front knee above your ankle, deep inhale, Anjaneyasana, exhale, hip hinge, pull those hips back, forward, lengthen, breathe. 2 more times, bring it forward into your low lunge, inhale. Feel those core muscles supporting the low back, and exhale as you shift your weight back. Keep those hips aligned. Last 2, go into your low lunge, rise up the spine, lengthen. Now shift back. Pull that right hip back. We just have 1 more. We're gonna hold it a little longer. Inhale, press hips forward, stretch that spine opposing directions. Now take it straight back. Make sure that hip is aligned, this right hip pulls back. Lift your breastbone up, hinge a little deeper, bringing breastbone, chest over this thigh, breathing in and breathing out. Inhale. Remember, we're trying to really lengthen our spine, so we don't want to round our middle back. Exhale. In our half split, breathing in and breathing out. 2 more deep inhales, really stretch those hamstrings. Exhale 1 more time, deep inhale. Exhale, softly, gently release, rising up, bring your breastbone off your thigh, slide that leg back. Now we're gonna extend that right foot straight back behind your body. Keep those shoulders down away from the ears. Remember, we wanna draw our elbows close to the sides of our rib cage. Keep shoulders away from ears, and you're gonna do your full plank forward, meaning instead of going like that, bending at the waist, your elbows hug in tight, you kick the leg back, and you do your push-up. Inhale, exhale, your chest opens, collarbones open, shoulders down. 8. Make sure your core is engaged. 7. So you press down and you stretch up at 6. Tighten the core. 5 and 4. 3 more. 2 more. Good, last one. Take it back up. Okay, so now when you bend the knees in like that, what I want you to do, we're gonna come into our Ustrasana, our camel pose. So basically for your camel, if you needed extra cushion underneath, if the knees bothered you, you could take a rolled up yoga blanket and place it for extra cushion and extra support. You never want to feel bone on bone grinding when you're stretching, so you do the best you can to alleviate that. No need to feel pain, whether you're doing yoga, whether you're doing Pilates. We really try to avoid putting our body into painful positions. So pain, sharp, sudden twinges of pain or shooting sensation, you definitely don't want to have that. So muscle tightness is totally different. As you hold your stretch and progress longer into it, that type of pain dissipates, going less and less and less as you hold longer, and then all of a sudden you feel a relief and it's not such a big deal. So that's a difference between something being wrong with a pain because something's wrong, or it's just tightness, tension, easing out of your muscles. So you want to learn how to be able to learn the difference, know your body well enough that you know when to back off and you know when to keep pushing forward, because you're going to get real gains in your flexibility. Okay, so camel pose. What I want you to feel like you can do is let your tailbone drop long so it gets rid of the excessive arching. Remember, the front ribs meet the back ribs, and you can either have your feet flat and do that if your knees are comfortable with it, and sometimes I like to have little extra going into the feet just to release pressure off the knees. So do whatever feels right for your body. So I want you to take your hand to the back of your hip and your pelvis to give yourself some support. And it's like you could press across the back of the hip towards the back of the pelvis. And then you take this other hand, take it back, so you can lean like that. First one's gonna be a little modified. You're gonna start to just hip hinge back like that. You're using your core. You're just gonna lean back a little baby bit. Okay, now if that feels like it's okay, you can stay here in this version. Now, if you feel like you can make a little bit more space and length through here, from this version here, you can reach back to your heels or your ankles, and then you keep pressing hip bones forward as you lift your heart to the sky. And then you're gonna start to feel the stretch here down through the front of your hip and your thigh. Stay here and breathe. And inhale and exhale. So we want to make sure the low back avoids compressing together. So you let that bottom part of the spine just feel like it's falling. Your hip bones press forward and your heart lifts to the sky. Inhale, exhale. And I don't want you to keep your head falling back. I want you to draw the chin slightly forward so you feel a little support at the base of the skull, the nape of the neck. So you want to feel a little bit of support at the back of the neck, also the back of the head. Breathe in, exhale one more time. Really feel some energy traveling through the front of those hips and thighs. Now when you're coming out, draw core muscles in, take hand to back of hips, slowly elevate up, and we're gonna come out of it. Wonderful. And then what I want you to do here, I'm gonna have you take both legs out straight, and then spread your fingertips far and wide. And then I'm gonna have you hold your plank steady and stable. Really stretch that spine opposing directions. Let your pelvis be in the same alignment as your shoulders, chest lifts, and just hold and breathe. So plank pretty much strengthens your entire body. Inhale, exhale. Notice how shoulders are right over your wrists and you're avoiding hyperextending your elbows. And the energy can travel down the legs into your balls of your feet. You feel your glutes are active, ribs wrapping, shoulder blades float down back. 5, 4, inhale, exhale, 3, 2 more, and then slowly come down to the mat. Wonderful. So I'm gonna ask you to turn to one side, and then I'm gonna have you lower straight to the mat like this, and then I want you to feel like your two hip bones stack right on top of each other, so top hip avoids falling backwards. So basically, you're gonna take a hold of your ankle, your pant leg, whatever you could grab, your shoulder, your hip, middle of knee over second toe. You pull the leg back, and then you're gonna let your tailbone lengthen away from you. Now slowly start to press these two hip bones forward to just slightly tilt that pelvis forward so your low back avoids arching. And I want you to just breathe and let the front of your hip and thigh release. Just let that front of your hip and thigh lengthen. Notice how the knee stays in alignment. The hip and the knee stay in the same alignment. You'll feel the front of your shoulder open a little bit. You want a deeper stretch. Lengthen the low back as you press both hips forward. And breathe. So we're just getting some energy circulating through there. Very important if you sit a lot, because those muscles get so tight. So we tried to work your hamstring before, we worked your glute, and then we stretched your hips and we stretched your hamstring. So now we're getting deeper into the front of that hip. Press hips forward, just different angles, different planes. Excellent. And slowly release. And then once you release, I'm going to ask you to just lift the top leg, and you're going to flex and just squeeze the side of your hip lower down. I'm gonna have you point and then flex. Squeeze the side of your hip without moving your pelvis. You're gonna point and flex, and then point and flex, and point and flex. Your core deepens to your spine, and point and flex, and point and flex. Feel side of hip and glute. 4, your abductors, and 3, point and flex, and 2, last one. Wonderful. Now your heels come tiny, tiny amount forward. Make a little room between the rib and the hip, and do this little baby circle where you just lightly brush your ankles. 5 and 4. Keep hips stabilized. 3 and 2. Reverse your direction. And 8. Lightly brush ankles. 7 and 6. Keep pelvis still. 5, 4 and 3. Scoop and zip, and 2. Last one. Awesome. And then just bring that leg in front so it stretches side of hip and glute for a moment. Release your hip, release your glute. Awesome. It feels so good to release the hip. Gently press palm against the mat. Rising up, bring yourself all the way up. And now I want you to lie on your other hip, on your other side. And just remember your alignment, your shoulders, hips, knees, ankles. We just follow that plane of alignment all the way down. That way we don't rock our pelvis out of alignment. We don't let our top hip fall back behind us. So you just come on down to your mat. I'm such a night owl. I wake up at night and then I want to sleep half the day. It's horrible. All right, let's relax your shoulder out of your ear. You're going to press your palm into the mat. Your hips are aligned. You're going to take that bottom leg, extend it. Okay, remember, you want the hip, the joint part, a little bit in here, aligning over the center of the kneecap, and then all the way over the ankle, second toe. That way you're not pulling your knee out of alignment. Hug in first, grab your pant leg or your ankle or your foot, wherever you can grab. Now you point it back. Now really stretch the low part of the back long away from your center. Stretch the tailbone away from your navel. Let your shoulder drop down and back. Your hip bones both press forward, and really stretch the low back apart. As you press your hip bones forward, that's going to protect your spine. And we're just getting a little deeper here into the front of your hip and your quad. Breathing in and breathing out. And inhale and exhale. Hip bones press forward. Keep on stretching the bottom of your spine, your tailbone away from your navel. That way you keep that low back having that elongation so it doesn't overarch on you. When you tilt hips forward, it really helps give you a deeper stretch on the front of your hip and thigh. Inhale, exhale. Just let it release. And inhale, exhale, let it release. 2 more times. And 1 more time, breathing in and breathing out. Wonderful. Now gently release your leg. Woo! And then we're going to stack our knees and our ankles. Your 2 hip bones are still aligned straight in front of you. And then I'm going to have you do some hip abduction. So side of hip and thigh. So we're going to press hand down. And I want you to, first one, just lift up your leg. I'm going to slide a little bit forward. So the second one, we're going to point. And then we're going to flex. And then we're going to lift and point and flex. Point. Keep the hips aligned. Flex. Scoop the core in. Point. Flex. And 7. You only lift to where you can keep those hips stabilized. 6. Squeeze side of hip. And 5. 4. Your abdominals scoop into the low back. 3. And 2. Breathe in, breathe out. And last one. Excellent. This can also be done in turned out position. Today I chose to go straight to get really into the side of that abductor over there. So You just finished with your leg lifts. And then this next thing that I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to have you turn onto your abdominals now. So we stretched the hip, we did hip abduction. I'm going to ask you to do something where you're on your abdominals. Actually, I want to reverse. We just stretched your hip flexor. I rather would turn on your glutes. I want to turn your glutes on. So come with me. Roll to your spine. You're on your back. So I wanted your glutes to turn on for a reason. We're going to activate them. And then I want to stretch the front of your hip flexor, your psoas, and your quad again. So press into all four corners of your feet. Reach your arms back behind your head. Notice if the middle of your back pops off the mat. If it does, lift the arms up a little higher until you feel the spot between your two shoulder blades touch down and make contact to the mat. So I want you to keep your back on the mat, and that tells me that the front of your ribs are integrated together enough that your spine is aligned where it needs to be. So turn your glutes on, scoop your abdominals in, send the energy down through the feet, press your hips to the sky, bring the weight across the middle of your shoulder girdle so you avoid putting the pressure in the neck. When you're in a good spot, what happens, I don't want you to turn and look at me and hurt the neck. You'll feel really wide across your collarbones, and you'll feel the area on the corresponding opposite side of your upper mid back where your weight's on, and it just opens your chest up so much. Now you scoop in and you just bring your pelvis straight back to the mat. Your pelvis touches down, and you start again. Press into your feet, engage your glutes. Energy lines are shoulders, hips, knees. You don't want the hips going way up high where your ribs come out of that integration. And now bring your hips straight to the mat. Lead with your core. And then again, you're going to go up. Fire up those glutes, legs. Feel the front. Use your core. Come down. Up. Down. Inhale, exhale, scoop in, up, down. Really use those core muscles, pull them into your spine. And 5, up. Really engage those glutes. Down. And 4, really stretch. No weight in neck, keep chest open. Straight back to mat. 3, elevate, chest wide, and squeeze those glutes down to mat. And last 2, really scoop the core tight, lower straight to mat. 1 more. Now feel the front of those hips opening. Press a little higher, scoop in a little deeper. Elongating the tailbone away from your breastbone. Inhale, soften in between shoulder blades. Place 1 vertebra down. Exhale. Next one. Next one. Next one. Next one. Next one. Go all the way as far as you can, slow. Lead with control. Articulate. Go all the way down to the tailbone, to the sacrum, and let that back lift a little bit off the mat. Okay, hug your knees to your chest now. Inhale to the spot in between your 2 shoulder blades and release. And 1 more time. Elongate that spine. Initiate the curling up through your core. Lift, lift, lift out through top of head. And gently release down. Elongate your legs away from your center. Reach your arms behind you into the mat. Elongate your entire body, opposing directions. Breathing in, breathing out, stretching. Now, what I want you to do, you're going to roll to your side, and then we're going to roll over the rest of the way. Excellent. Now, once you roll over, take a moment and I want you to rock side to side across your pelvis. Release your spine. Now, first thing first, pull your abdominal wall in and away from the mat as if you're lifting into the center part of your low back. You're scooping in. You're making that mental connection so that you're engaging your core in order to support your spine. And then you want to still feel like you're stretching that bottom of the spine, the tailbone away from you, so we avoid arching our back and lifting the front of our hips off mat. So I'm going to take you into bow pose because I want to get into the front of your hips and thighs a little bit deeper. So we're going to take one hand back. We're going to grab either our ankle or our foot. First part, I think I'll have you keep toes like relaxed or pointed, grabbing your ankle. And then you can take a hold of your other side. Make sure the knees, so you can grab your feet, your ankles. Just let the toes be curled towards the backs of your thighs, your glutes. And then just stay here and breathe. And then I'm going to have you just breathe in. Really stretch your tailbone away from you. Feel the pubic bone firm on mat. Even the front of your hip bones are on the mat. And then I'm going to have you take an inhale as you lift up your heart. Notice how your shoulders are dropped down and back. And then exhale, release. And inhale. Open your heart, your chest. Keep those knees narrow so they avoid splaying out. You're going to inhale and scoop your core. Inhale and exhale. Feel that centering. One more. Open your heart. Stretch your tailbone long. Now gently flex your feet and then go a little bit higher and inhale. Now lift up the front of those thighs off the mat, but you're going to keep the hip bones firm on mat. And then you're going to come in and down. And then you're going to lift up. Exhale. Two more. Inhale. Tighten the core muscles. Protect your back. Exhale. One more. And hold. Feel some space between shoulders and ears. Scoop those core muscles in. And softly release down. Now, take your hips, rock side to side gently across your back. Awesome. And we're coming into our balasana, a rest pose. So I want you to roll those shoulders down away from your ears. Press your palms firmly into the mat. And remember how those elbows hug in. And you press straight up. You could either be on the tops of your feet. And I always point this out just because some can be sensitive around their knees. So even the hips sometimes. So you can have feet flat or curl those toes under. Crease right there, right at the thigh line, that hip crease. And then you're gonna sit straight back, like flat back neutral. And then I just want you to go straight back where your hips come towards your heels. I want you to just gently feel as if you're stretching your heart through the arms. And then I'm going to have you stretch hands out in front as your sits bones pull back towards your heels. Maybe your forehead comes to a pillow or a yoga block. Maybe your forehead comes to the mat, whichever works best for you. And breathe across that upper mid back. Feel sits bones pulling towards backs of thighs. Pull that low back apart. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. For a variation, bring the palms of your hands together into Anjali Mudra and then gently reach towards the back of the neck. And you're just breathing, deepening that stretch across your upper mid back. Feeling some more space, open up mid back. Really expand into three-dimensional posterior lateral rib cage breathing. Maybe even breathe into your belly. And exhale. 2 more deep inhales. And exhale. One more deep inhale. Expansion. Exhale. Let the exhale all go. Let it out. Feel more space opening up in different spots of your body, releasing even deeper. Sometimes you'll feel the hips release, the glutes release, and gently taking hands, slide them in under the shoulders, relax your shoulders, take a moment. Know that you're slowly pressing palms into the mat, rising up, lifting your head away from the mat, lengthening up. Excellent. Crisscross those ankles, and we're just gonna walk through, coming onto our sits bones and our glutes. And then I just want you to take a moment, use your core, reach under those thighs, scoop your abdominals deeply into your spine, and then try to make room as you scoop in even more, scoop all the way. Come all the way into your mat. And then I want you to just relax for a moment. Let your legs splay out. Let your knees relax. Feel those hips. And also I want you to feel like you're stretching that low back away from you. So you want to feel like you're elongating, and just notice how there's space here on the front. And then you're going to release the tension out of your feet, out of your ankles. I was holding tension in my ankles. I felt it. And then you're going to feel how the ribs are drawing down. Maybe bring palms up. Let your knees release. And just stay here and breathe. Now, if you excessively arch your back, like I do, I'm guilty. I run, my hip flexors are tight. It pulls my pelvis a little extra anteriorly. So at the end of this, I'll explain something. So we're just gonna relax. Let the mat absorb you, absorb your body right now. Breathing in, breathing out. You want to feel like your back just falls against the mat. One more deep inhale. Exhale, softly release. One more time. Just let your body take in what you just gave to it. And gently start to feel more awareness. Feel your fingers, feel your toes moving, feel your ankles. Do a couple ankle rotations. Maybe do some wrist rotations. Maybe let your head rock side to side, gently releasing your sides of your neck. And slide one leg in at a time. So, we have different variations in our back. We might have a flat spine, we might have an anterior pelvic tilt or a posterior pelvic tilt. Moreover, like if you have a flat back. So, if you're lying with your legs straight and you feel like your back is lifting off the mat, your back is arching. And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because if you arch excessively, it can throw you out of alignment. And just to give yourself a little check, because I could feel my back lifting off the mat before. So what I want you to do is feel like you can pull in underneath those ribs until you feel that part of the back come into the mat. Like that part just touch the mat right now. So basically, I want you to be able to release your spine against the mat that way by using the core, not by pushing your back into the mat. It's different. So just to give that low back an extra release, pull the abdominals in, and then you're going to let that connection happen. You imprint, so your hips are rolled back right now, and just ever so slightly allow the hips to rock forward. Now pull the abdominals in. I'm just going to set my hands on my two hip bones so I can feel my hip bones rocking back and forth. So I'm just noticing how my spine, notice where your spine likes to be, and apply this to your individual body type. So you're going to feel the hips rock back and forth, and I want you to go in between those two tilts. And ideally, we can anatomically become our neutral so that when we're standing, we're not excessively tilting our pelvis underneath us or behind us. So if we tilt our pelvis behind us, that's one thing. If we tilt it under us, we can tuck our pelvis, and then those glutes don't get to work or fire, they get weak, and we don't want that. We want to be in between those two tilts. So that's your neutral spine. And I just wanted to end with you feeling your core scooping in, falling into the mat, hug knee to chest, extend one leg. So you just let that back release, the other leg reaches long out of your center. Wonderful. And then switch. Hug under the knee. You don't want to put all the pressure on top of the joint, so it's a little safer to just reach under the knee. You'll notice if there's any pulling in the front of the hip, or how close your back is to the mat, or if those ribs are integrated. And we did it, everyone. I hope your hips feel a little more open. Hope your quads, front of thighs feel a little less tight. And then I also hope that your hamstrings feel a little more loose and limber, as well as your low back. Gently just bring both knees to your chest and just relax for a second. Just letting your back sink into the mat. You could experiment how high the legs go up, how low the legs come down, but I really want your tailbone, your sacrum snug on the mat as well as your back. So I don't want your pelvis lifted right now. So just relax into the mat. Slowly turn. We're going to bring our feet down, reach overhead, and just rotate to the side. I just had a hip release pop, so things like that happen when you do this type of workout. And then structurally, work front, work back, work the sides, like you're changing your alignment and you're trying to get your true alignment, anatomically correct alignment, so what happens, your body can adjust with it or after it. So things can pop and crack, you move into place, and you'll feel better aligned, like you have more space in your joints, more space in the areas where joints intersect, like the hips, the shoulders. You'll feel the back, the sacrum, center of low back, lower than the lumbar. So then slowly, we're just going to make our way to a seated position. Awesome. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate you so much. And then I hope this helped. And there's something else you could check out when you're finished. You check to see, like Here, sometimes one knee could be higher than the other, meaning your hip is tighter. So you could kind of check out your alignment just by sitting like this in easy pose. Take an inhalation, reach up, feel chest open. Bring hands together to Anjali Mudra, feeling peaceful, feeling limber, flexible, a little more spacious, and that feels so good, a little lighter. Thank you for joining me. If you like my content, help me grow by liking or sharing or subscribing. Peace, everyone. I hope this helped you, helped realign your body and helped your hips and your quads not feel so tight. Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon. I hope this helped. And if it did, save it so you could do it again. You could find it easier. All right. Bye. Peace.